Wildflower Wedding Planning, and I'm with one of our very own, Bailey Martin. She is our events director here, and we're here to talk about a topic that tons of our brides come to us for help in their wedding, creating the perfect wedding timeline. And we have done tons of timelines. We've seen everything, and obviously like customizing it is something that we can help with, but we do have sort of a tried and true method that we use to create the perfect timeline. And so we're here to talk about the 4 steps in creating the perfect wedding timeline. So Bailey, tell us, what is step 1 in creating the perfect timeline?
Yeah, so step 1 is obviously starting with the ceremony start time. That's why everyone is there, as you're getting married. So, you know, whether it's in the afternoon, morning, nighttime, whatever it is, just knowing that is kind of a good starting point. And then we always kind of go through our rule of thumb. So our rule of thumb for a standard wedding day is about 4 hours for setup, and then we usually allot about an hour for ceremony and cocktail hour, and then about 4 hours for the reception and an hour for breakdown.
So yes, absolutely. Every standard wedding is about in that timeline. Obviously there's things that affect that, such as if there's more to do with the setup, if we're bringing in draping and lighting, then more hours would be allotted for the setup and you know.
Yeah, there's always also the first look. You know, if you have a first look, you might not need as much time after the ceremony, but if you do have a first look or don't have a first look, you may need more time after for photos, so.
Right, exactly. And so after we have sort of our standard setup, what's step 2 in creating the timeline?
Yeah, step 2 is gonna be talking through all of your vendors that you've contracted. Every vendor has a different allotted amount of time that they're contracted. Like your photographer, for example, you may have 6 hours with them, you may have 8 hours, sometimes even 10 to 12 hours, just depending on your wedding day and what's important to you. So same with DJ, sometimes they're only contracted for 4 hours, some are 6 to 8, so yeah, it all kind of depends. But once we have that, that kind of gauges the rest of the timeline, and we can kind of personalize it from there.
Absolutely. And sort of like piecing together a puzzle, it's taking this contract and how does it mesh with this contract, and once your photographer shows up, that's when you'd want to be done with hair and makeup. And so how long is it going to take for hair and makeup? Do we have 4 girls, 6 girls? And that's
from there.
Exactly. Okay, so what's step 3?
So yeah, with step 3, we kind of get a little more personal with the reception. You know, are you doing bouquet garter toss? Do you want to have the first dance, father, daughter, mother, son dance, a grand entrance? All those kind of details play into the factor of that, as well as the order of the events. If you want to go from grand entrance straight into the dances or straight into dinner, or I just like to ask the brides what's important to them and how they kind of envision the day.
Exactly.
And then we kind of can form it from there.
And that makes sense. And we kind of work off of, normally the grand entrance is after the cocktail hour, and then that would lead into a really good time, since you already have everyone's attention, to be the time for the first dance, then the father-daughter dance, and the mother-son. And we really try to group it like all together so that you're not every hour doing a different event. So the first dance, father-daughter dance, mother-son would be grouped together, and then later in the night, the bouquet garter toss grouped together, and then at the end of the night, the grand exit. So yeah.
And there's always those little tips and tricks, like you want to have the toaster after the cake cutting so that the caterer can actually physically cut the cake and serve it to your guests, or you want to do the toast before the dances are open, or the dance floor is open, so that way it doesn't interrupt the party and you can kind of just like keep the flow going smoothly. So there's always those little tips.
Absolutely. And so, all right, we're at step 4. What's the last touch on the perfect timeline?
So step 4 is kind of what the coordinator is there for, is to finalize all those last minute details with the vendors. What time are they arriving, and make sure that they have everything that they need to know for the wedding day, and so that it can run smoothly, and kind of just getting everything fine-tuned basically.
Right. So. And even that is a beast in itself, because you really want to have all of the draping and lighting done first in the room, and then having the venue come in and set up the tables, and then we come in and set up the linens, and then the florist comes in to set on top of that, and then yes, it's a total beast in itself. And That's why it's just really important to have a coordinator to help customize and make sure that this day is exactly the way that you envisioned it. But we are going to also provide a sample timeline so that if you are doing this on your own, that you're going to be able to look at that and kind of use it as reference to customize your own perfect wedding day. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 423-405-7615. Bailey and I are happy to even just have a consultation and talk to you guys about your wedding. And
we can't wait.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you're interested in more information about timelines, then make sure to check out the blog associated with this video. Bye, guys.